The next thing that we're going to do is we are going to combine like terms. Combine like terms is when we take all of the tiles that are the same size, and we put them all together. We've done that a little bit. I've already taken the 2 and combined the 2 on the plus side and made them positive 2. I've already done that, but now I'm going to take all these other tiles and I'm going to put them together. And part of what that's going to do, so this is where we combine all terms that are represented by same size tiles. And now I'm going to move these down a little bit. So what that looks like, though, in here is that I'm going to combine, let's see, all my same size tiles here. All of these tiles are all the same size. They're all just unit squares. And all of these tiles are all the same size. They're all just unit squares. So I'm going to combine all of them. And one way to combine them is something called canceling. One thing that happens is we can cancel 0 pairs. So cancel 0 pairs is it's actually part of combining like terms. I said combining like terms first because, we've already combined some of our terms. Like I've already said 1 plus 1 equals 2 and -1 plus -1 equals -2. I've already done a little bit of combining, but now I'm going to cancel some 0 pairs. And we know already that 0 pairs happen when you cancel like the 2 plus the -2. So I already see that this positive and this negative cancel out, and this positive and this negative cancel out. So that's actually going to cancel out this positive 2 and this -2 here. Those are going to get canceled out. They're going to combine and make 0. And what I have left is x plus 0 plus -3. That's what I have now. And because 0 is nothing, I can just rewrite that as x plus -3. And then on the other side, I see that I have a 0 pair here. I have another 0 pair with this positive and this negative, and then another 0 pair with this positive and this negative. And so what that's going to do is that is going to cancel out let's see here. I feel like I did something wrong here because these don't quite seem right to me. We have, you know what the problem is that I'm noticing that I actually I'm sorry, you guys, I drew this equation wrong. I said this was 2 plus -3 plus minus -1, and I looked at one tile, but this is really minus -2. This is why I'm getting confused. It's really important to go back and look at your work. I made a mistake, and that this is -2, and so this should also be -2. And so when these cancel out, I should have 1 left over. That was messing with my head. So what happened is that the 2 positives here canceled out 2 of the negatives. They canceled out, let's say they canceled out 2 of the negatives from the original numbers that were on top of here. And that left me with, of the -3, there's only 1 negative left. So that's going to become -1. But then also when this -1, this is the -1 that's just left. When that cancels, when that comes in contact with this +2, that actually also is going to cancel out. There's a 0 pair right there. And what gets left is when 2 comes in contact with -1, when you add them together, you have 1 left. And that is this little square right here. So that's what's left of that. Everything else canceled out. So all I have left is this x and this 1. So this is going to become x plus 1. X plus +1, which is equal to x plus 1. So that is how we cancel 0 pairs. The next thing that we're going to do after that. So the next thing that we're going to do, I guess I've already done it, is we are going to we write our simplified expressions. So I can't simplify either one of these expressions any more than this. So I'm actually going to trace over this. X plus 1 is as simple as that side can get. And x plus negative 3 is as simple as this side can get. But there is one last step that we can do. So my simplified expression is just this part right here. This and this. These are my simplified expressions. But if our job is to figure out which one is bigger, or how these things compare, there is one last step that we can do to make that a little bit more clear, because some students might get confused about the x and the plus 1 or the x and the minus 1, and that is to remove a balanced set. Removing a balanced set is when you take a balanced amount, that's an abbreviation for amount, AMT. You know what? I'm going to write the whole word in. I'm just going to do it down here. Take a balanced amount away from both sides. And the reason that we do this is to make the difference, or make the, to preserve the difference between two sides. So when I'm looking at this one, I'm not exact. It might be difficult to tell how much bigger x is, x plus negative 3 is than x plus 1, or how much smaller x plus negative 3 is than x plus 1. So what I can do is I can look for the same amount on both sides. So in this case, I see that there is an x on both sides. It is the exact same thing. And what I can do is I can subtract it from both sides. So I'm going to subtract x from both sides. And when I subtract x from both sides, I get x minus x is 0. So now I have 0 plus negative 3. And I have 0 plus 1. And what that looks like on my diagram is I just take these x's and I just cross them out and I say, you know what? That is gone. That was here. I leave it on there so that you can see that it was there so you don't lose track of it, but that it's gone. This is me just showing I took it off. I just draw an arrow showing that it's leaving. And then, so now I can tell, I know that 0 plus negative 3, I know that that is negative 3. And 0 plus 1, I know that that is 1. So I'm going to look at that, and now, so what I just did was I removed the same amount from both sides. That's like removing the same size kids from both sides of the teeter-totter. If they were balanced before, they should be balanced now. If one side was bigger before, then that side should be just as big now. So you will see here, if I was wondering how far apart is this, how much bigger is one than the other? Well, I'm going to draw a diagram of that. Here is 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. This is a number line. And if I am comparing how far apart, how much higher is 1, I see 1 here, I'm going to put a 1 there, then negative 3. If I want to know how far apart those are, I can see right now that when I'm comparing 1 and negative 3, that they are 4 apart. So that tells me that if I have x plus 1 and x plus negative 3, it's still going to be 4 apart. That this side is 4, that 1 is 4 higher than negative 3. But the other important thing is that there's other balance sets that I can do here. So I can also take away Like, there are other things that I could take away from both sides here. I could take away 1. If I took away 1, it would make this 1 would turn into 0. And then if I took away 1 from one side, for removing a balance set, I have to take it away from the other side. So this becomes -4. So 0 is still bigger than -4. And if you're not sure why, I'll show you. Here is 0 on the number line, and here is -4 on the number line. And if I am comparing these two, then I can see that it is still 1, 2, 3, 4. 0 is still 4 higher, so it's still +4. 0 is still 4 higher. I shouldn't write +4 like that, but 0 is 4 higher than -1. And then there's another balance set I could take away. I actually could take away, what if I took away the -4 from this side? Well, if I did that, then I could, I would have to take away -4 from the other side. So -4 minus itself, any number minus itself, is equal to 0. But then 0 minus -4, we already know from doing keep, change, change. I'm going to get my keep, change, change color out here and change this to plus +4. I know those are the same thing. 0 plus 4 is equal to 4. So if I was to diagram this, or if I was to compare these two, and I wanted to know which one is bigger, well, I still see that the one on the left is 4, and the one on the right this time is 0, and we will still see that the difference is still 4. So in all cases, I can tell that the left side, left, is 4 smaller than right. And that just makes it easier to compare. There is no set amount of times that you need to remove balance sets. I just do it until I can see which one's bigger. In this case, I could actually already see it up here, but I normally wouldn't remove balance sets any further than -3 and 1. But it's not incorrect to do it further. It just shows the point.